Turkey hunting is one of my absolute favorite hunts of the year, and I was so excited to start what I decided was going to be my turkey tour. Now, I was pumped to get on the road, and I wanted to hit as many states as possible. I wasn't worried about getting a slam. I was just looking for pure turkey hunting. Now, first up, well, I was headed to Kansas. Now, Kansas is a state that is absolutely full of turkeys, and I was headed to a really great spot. In fact, I was headed to the Milford Lake area with Grandpa Boone's cabin. Now, this place has some incredible turkey hunting, and when I got there, set up on the first day in a picked cornfield, well, I was not disappointed. The turkeys were everywhere. In fact, there were gobblers at the other end going back and forth, probably 200 yards out. But finally, we got the attention of two big toms. Well, my heart was racing. I wanted to let these guys do their thing and not mess them up. The problem was, I think I waited a little too long. We had turkeys in, getting great footage, and I got caught up in the moment. The next thing I know, these turkeys are headed into the weeds, and I thought I missed my chance. Well, luckily, one gobbler decided to step back out, and he just couldn't resist. The curiosity was killing him. Look at this, my first Kansas bird. Beautiful beard. We had two gobblers come strutting in all over the decoys. They got a little finicky, but this is a beautiful fan. We've hit it absolutely perfect here, so we're gonna get this back and hopefully keep hunting. Kansas was definitely panning out. We were on the first day and already had a beautiful bird down. And the good thing is, we had great weather to look forward to and tons of turkeys. With one bird down, we decided to go out and try a couple other locations. Now, it's nice to get in close to the roost, but this time we were in the perfect position. We had birds pitching down right in the field in front of us. Finally, all the jakes must have grabbed the attention of one gobbler, and he was not having it. He was not happy that all these jakes were jumping on the back of our hen. He came in, pushed all the other jakes aside, and it was his turn. Well, you know what? We had two people hunting, and on this one, I was letting my cameraman shoot. So I was filming, and I was blown away by this footage. This gobbler had just come charging in, pushed all the jakes aside, and now we had a giant gobbler right on the back of our hen. And we had another beautiful tom down. Now, Kansas is full of turkeys, but the nice thing is each person gets 2 tags apiece. So now we had 2 beautiful turkeys down and 2 tags left. So we set up on the same location that we started on, a big picked cornfield, and we had 2 gobblers come in the pouring rain. These turkeys were gobbling, putting on a show, and as they started walking away, Martin decided to make a shot and dropped them right in their tracks. A turkey shot right in the back, well, it is one place that they will not go far. With 3 out of 4 tags filled, we were on a roll. But it was time to switch locations. Now, we set up the decoys on a green flat next to a field. That way, when the turkeys come over, well, they could easily see our decoys. Well, it absolutely worked. We called in a nice big gobbler, brought him right into the decoys, and he couldn't resist our decoys. In fact, once again, he jumped right on top of the decoy, and the coolest part is we were getting all sorts of different angles on this bird. We had a GoPro camera mounted right up close, we had a wide camera, and we had our camera in the blind. So you can imagine how excited I was knowing we were getting all these different angles. Well, I was really starting to shake, and I was trying to calm my nerves, but apparently I didn't do such a great job. When this big tom hopped off our decoy, stood perfectly broadside, and it was time for me to make the shot. But Jay came in, started coming into our decoys, and this tom was not having it. He was not happy that another turkey was coming in, forgot all about the ruckus that had just happened, and he followed this Jake right in.
I have never had a turkey hunt like this in my entire life. This is my second bird. We've taken 4 birds in basically 2.5 days. I have no idea how many gobblers we've seen, but we're at Grandpa Boone's cabin in Kansas, and this is turkey hunting like you have never seen before.
With a successful Kansas hunt under Melissa's belt, the turkey tour heads to Kentucky, and these birds are in a fighting mood.
There is quite a thrill when it comes to turkey hunting. In fact, I can't think of anything that gets me more excited. I literally will shake on a turkey as much, if not more, than on a big buck. Now, some people might think it's hard to believe, but the interaction is priceless. You are calling this bird in, he's coming, you've tricked him on every level, and when you can get incredible footage, well, that just tops it up.
But even with a huge number of turkeys, there's always one thing you can't control: the weather.
The bad news is, well, we had some nasty weather rolling in. We had roosted a couple of birds later that evening, so we had a good spot to go in the morning, but it looked like thunderstorm city. The storms were rolling in, but the good news is the turkeys weren't going anywhere, and the last time I checked, well, I don't melt, so it was turkey hunting time in the morning. That bird came all the way across the field. It has barely even got light yet today, and this bird just came trucking in. Our decoy's fan was moving in the wind, and he wanted to come in and check it out, but he got a little skittish when he got in tight. Our tom was looking pretty tough, but I guess he was feeling good this morning, so, well, that is, until I put an arrow through him, so I gotta go check this guy out. This is what I was able to see. I couldn't tell it was a double beard, but I could tell it was nice, thick beard. It is one soggy morning out here. Storms came through last night, and as you can tell, well, these birds had a tough night too, but now this is testimony to all the girls out there. Guys can have bad hair days too. He had to sit through the storm last night. Looking a little rough right now, but what a beautiful bird.
Tip of the Week is brought to you by Canning. The facts say a lot, but the ride says it all.
As you can see, hunting out of ground blinds for turkeys is super effective, but there are a few tips when it comes to hunting out of ground blinds. Number 1, you don't have a lot of space, so you want to use your space efficiently. The very first thing you need to know, you need a good chair. Now I use the Huntmore chair. It's super comfortable, but it offers a lot more than just comfort. It's also very practical. Now first you'll see that there's big feet on it. The reason why? Well, a lot of times in the spring, it can be pretty muddy and your feet will sink in on your chair if you're not careful. With a Huntmore chair, huge feet and you never have to worry about it. The other thing is as much as we'd all like, ground is not always level. So you need a chair that can accommodate for unlevel ground. With this chair, each leg has extenders so you can make it perfectly level for all your needs. Now lastly, this chair spins 360 degrees. That means you can set up in the middle and get to every window. Now you're not going to use a lot of space, you're going to be super comfortable, and you won't sink in. I don't know what more there is to ask out of a chair for a ground blind situation.
Winchester's Deadly Passion is presented by Winchester Ammunition, Thompson Center, Cuddyback Digital, Bog Pot, Cabela's, She Outdoor Apparel, and Hunter Safety System.
So far, the entire turkey tour has consisted of blind hunting, and that's usually how people do it if they want to bow hunt. Well, I decided on my hunt in Texas, no blinds. I wanted to go after these turkeys with my blinged out bow and prove to the whole world, well, you can go after turkeys without a blind. Now, there's no lie, turkeys have amazing eyesight, but you can get out of the blind and stalk them on the ground if you do things right. One of the most important things, find shade. When you set up, put your decoy out, try to keep it out of direct line of your sight and where the turkeys will be coming, and give yourself something to draw. Now the biggest obstacle, well, of course it's going to be trying to get to full draw. A turkey's eyesight is absolutely incredible, and when they come in, well, they are wary and looking for any movement. So if you're trying to draw, well, it will be tough. So how I plan to combat this? Well, I was hunting with a good friend from Texas, Dave Pavlicek, and we were planning to go out and he was going to call these birds, hopefully past me, and my plan was to draw early. And we were going to be hunting a new property that neither of us had been on before. So it was also sort of an adventure to learn the property, figure out what's going on, and hopefully take a turkey. After spending some time walking around the property, calling, trying to find some birds, we finally got a gobbler to respond. So we got set up and we saw him come right over the hill. Now we could see for quite a ways, so it was really cool and my adrenaline was pounding. But as he started coming, he got to the edge of the bluff and this gobbler would not come any further. It was just too far for an archery shot, probably 60, 65 yards, and I wasn't comfortable. I wanted him to come in close, but the more we tried, this gobbler wanted nothing to do with it. He ended up just strutting nonstop, and as he walked away, well, a jay came through, and the next thing I know, they were all gone. Now I started feeling like we were really getting to know the property and what these turkeys were doing. We were getting in the right areas, but just hadn't brought anything in close until we heard a couple gobblers just lighting up. Now my goal was to try to get to some cover that they couldn't see me coming in, but hopefully I could get to full draw, let them walk past, and that would be my shot. Now these turkeys looked like they were going to come right to my decoy, but as they got close, well, they started swinging wide. I'm not sure if they thought something was kind of out of order, but they were going wide, and I started thinking, I'm not going to get a shot. And I had been at full draw for quite some time. But as they went around, I had one clearing. The second they stepped in that, I was going to take them. Well, I got on them. My cameraman didn't quite see them, but I had a GoPro on my bow and took the shot. This was super exciting. I couldn't believe I had been at full draw this whole time, finally got a beautiful gobbler without a blind. Now I knew it was going to be a pretty tough feat, and Texas was a perfect place to do it. What a beautiful bird. And check this out.
Oh, two!
Double bearded. I can be honest with you, I didn't see that. I picked the one that I had the best shot on.
Worst way they could have come in, but it all worked out.
Winchester's Deadly Passion is presented by Swarovski Optic, North American Hunting Club, Rage Broadheads, Matthews, Can-Am, Wildlife Research Center, and Hot Mox.
Now, a lot of people have different preferences when they set up their decoys, but I've had a ton of luck with the submissive hen from the Dave Smith decoys. We've had so many gobblers get on top of her, so I actually position her according to how I want my shot. Now, these gobblers will come up on the back and hop right on her back. So you gotta be thinking, where's your shot? Now, I like taking that shot when they're on her because their focus is completely elsewhere. So it allows you to draw, and in bow hunting, sometimes that's the hardest part. So the way I have her positioned right now, the gobbler should get up, my blind's gonna be over there, and I should have a perfect broadside or quartering away shot. And with these big turkeys, you wanna make sure you've got the perfect shot and hit them good. Illinois is a state that is full of game, but this time I was going after a turkey. Now, I've had some pretty good luck with the bucks in Illinois. I've taken some absolute giants, but this time, well, only gobblers were on my mind. Turkey hunting can be really tough at times. In fact, you can have birds all over you, but sometimes there's nothing you can do. And on this situation, well, we had jakes everywhere. Our decoys were working perfect on the jakes. In fact, well, they were right up and on our decoys. But the gobblers, well, they were just keeping their distance. We had another setup the next morning, and we had hens come in, and the next thing we knew, there's a big old longbeard right behind them. Now this guy, he was very interested in Bubbles, my decoy. He really liked her, and the cool thing is, I had another small camera set up on the opposite side, and it was capturing all the footage. When you can capture something this awesome on 2 different camera angles, well, to me, that's just as good as getting a giant tom. And this is exactly what I like to see. This gobbler didn't go far at all. I'm only 25 yards from the blind. But this is what I... Check that out. Now that is a nice beard. Just a beautiful, beautiful gobbler. We're in Illinois, and these are some of the biggest easterns around. And with a fan like that, coming in, putting on a show, turkey hunting is so amazing. It's a way that you can get out in the spring, have great hunting set up, kind of early mornings, but I really enjoy it. Beautiful bird, and well, we definitely have a fighter. It's got a little bit of busted up spurs here. This bird is going to be another good eater, and I can't wait to get him home. Now, I am an absolute turkey hunting nut. In fact, if I could hunt turkeys every day, well, the whitetails would probably feel a lot safer in Illinois. But luckily during the spring, well, it was only turkeys on my brain. And with 1 turkey down, I still had 1 more tag to go. a beautiful turkey. This guy was about as close to getting away from me as any turkey could possibly be. This giant beard was pretty much dragging across the field as he came in. Now I was ready to get out of the blind and go home. He showed up right when I had the door open, so all the light in the world came in the ground blind. But he didn't catch it, came strolling in, but right at the last minute as I was gonna shoot, he caught some movement in the blind and he was out of there. And I put a shot right in as he was quartering away and it put him down. These turkeys, you put a big old rage through them, they usually go down pretty quickly, but I didn't take any chances. I ran out of the blind, got over here, he didn't go more than 70 yards. Turkeys, you gotta go right after them, but just an absolutely beautiful beard. Probably one of the longest of the season, and you know what? Pretty good looking spurs as well. Second Illinois turkey down this year, and I couldn't be happier. What a great way to end the turkey tour.
Coming up next week on Deadly Passion, Melissa travels from state to state in search of giant gators. In fact, she decides to attempt her version of a gator slam. Melissa's goal is to take a monster with her bow, shoot one with her rifle, and finally do it swamp people style by landing a gator on a hook. The only question, does she have a big enough boat?